Have you ever thought about who the real rebels of the wizarding world are? What if I told you that it's not the Death Eaters or even the Order of the Phoenix? In today's video, you will find out why goblins are the most dangerous and underestimated force in the magical universe. Goblins are an ancient and intelligent race in the world of Harry Potter. In the films, they seem like strict, greedy bankers guarding vaults in Gringotts with an iron grip. Sure, they're grumpy and unwelcoming, but they don't seem like a real threat. Even young wizards manage to outsmart them and sneak into their heavily secured bank. But what if I told you that goblins were never meant to be mere background characters? History remembers them not as passive vault keepers, but as fierce revolutionaries who shook the wizarding world to its core. These small but formidable creatures have launched uprisings, waged wars, and defied magical authorities for centuries. So, hold on to your wallets, because the Goblin Rebellion is about to begin. No one knows exactly when goblins first appeared in the magical world, but one thing is certain. They have been around for over 1,000 years. By the time Hogwarts was founded, goblins had already established a thriving culture and strong ties with wizards. How do we know this? One of Hogwarts' legendary artifacts, the Sword of Gryffindor, was crafted by the Goblin King Ragnuk I. The weapon was so magnificent that Ragnuk didn't want to part with it. He insisted that Godric Gryffindor had stolen it, leading to one of the first major conflicts between goblins and wizards. Over the centuries, goblins and wizards coexisted, but tension simmered beneath the surface. Wizards never saw goblins as equals. Maybe it was because of their appearance, short, long-fingered with sharp features. Maybe it was fear of their intelligence and craftsmanship. Either way, goblins found a way to thrive despite discrimination. In 1474, a goblin named Gringotts founded the most powerful financial institution in the magical world, Gringotts Bank. Unlike house elves, who were forced into servitude, goblins carved out a position of power. They controlled the wizarding economy and wielded a unique kind of goblin magic, one that didn't require wands. Goblins aren't just smart and hard-working, they are also fiercely proud and deeply resent injustice. And when they feel wronged, they don't stay silent. Throughout history, goblins have led multiple uprisings against wizard kind. Every time wizards imposed unfair laws or tried to restrict their rights, goblins responded with rebellion. The Ministry of Magic, fearing their power, passed a strict law forbidding non-humans from using wands. But even that wasn't enough to suppress them. One of the earliest revolts was led by none other than Ragnuk I. Still enraged over losing Gryffindor's sword, he launched an armed rebellion against the wizarding world. It took the combined force of wizard armies to put it down, but that was just the beginning. Over the centuries, goblins staged at least 7 major revolts. Even during the events of Harry Potter, secret goblin factions were rumored to be working against the Ministry, planning sabotage and uprisings in the shadows. Goblins have always had their leaders, some seeking justice, others revenge. Here are some of the most notorious figures in goblin history. Gurg the Filthy, a 17th-century goblin ruler who led a violent rebellion after young wizards humiliated him by dunking him into a lake. What started as a petty insult turned into a full-scale war. Godrod Callous Hand, a goblin assassin responsible for the deaths of multiple wizards. When he was finally captured, his fellow goblins rallied to free him, sparking another uprising. Narlak, a goblin gangster in 1920s America, running an underground bar. A key figure in Fantastic Beasts. He proves that goblins never lost their edge. Bodrig the Crooked, the leader of the Goblin Brotherhood, an organization demanding the right to use wands. His protests escalated into riots, shaking the magical government. So next time you see goblins hunched over their desks at Gringotts, remember they are not just quiet bankers. They are warriors, rebels, and strategists, always watching, always waiting for their next move. The question is, what happens when they finally strike again? The goblins have waited long enough. For centuries, they have been denied rights, their magic restricted, their traditions dismissed. Wizards see them as mere bankers, as if counting gold is their only talent. But beneath the cold marble floors of Gringotts, beneath the watchful eyes of ministry spies, something is stirring. A plan, centuries in the making. The goblins never forgot. They never forgave. And now they are ready. The Ministry of Magic prides itself on control. It regulates everything: wand permits, magical creatures, international travel. But there is one thing it never truly controlled: goblins. They follow their own laws, protect their own kind, and, most dangerously, they hold the keys to wizarding wealth. A single flick of a goblin's quill could bring the wizarding economy to its knees. But they have not done it, not yet. There are whispers of an ancient ledger hidden deep within Gringotts. The ledger of Ragnarok, a record of every injustice done to the goblins, every stolen artifact, every wizard who betrayed their word. Some say it is guarded by creatures older than dragons, bound by goblin magic no human can break. Others say the ledger itself is enchanted, and that the names written in it are cursed. Wizard kind have always taken what is not theirs, said Bogrod, one of the senior goblins at Gringotts, before being forced to lead Harry Potter to Bellatrix Lestrange's vault. His words were not spoken lightly. The goblins have seen wizards take, hoard, and refuse to return. The sword of Gryffindor, the most famous goblin-forged weapon, was just one of many stolen treasures. Wizards believe they own what they claim. Goblins remember the truth. Ragnarok I, the legendary Goblin King, once wielded more power than the Ministry dares to admit. His armies marched through wizarding settlements, reclaiming what was taken. His craftsmen forged weapons of terrifying strength. His spies infiltrated the halls of Hogwarts itself. But Ragnarok made a mistake. He underestimated the wizard's fear. They banded together, crushed his forces, erased his name from history books. But the goblins did not forget. They still call him Ragnarok the Just. There have been at least 7 major goblin rebellions, but the Ministry tells only part of the story. They call them uprisings, making it seem like chaos, but goblins say otherwise. They call them wars. In 1612, goblins took over the village of Hogsmeade. The Ministry had to call in reinforcements from all over Britain to take it back. It took months. Wizards rewrote history, making it sound like a minor disturbance. But why would a simple rebellion need auras, battle spells, and entire squads of trained fighters? Goblins may not use wands, but they have magic of their own. A kind of magic wizards don't understand, don't control. In 1893, a goblin named Durmang led a secret faction that nearly overthrew Gringotts from the inside. He enchanted the very walls of the bank, turning them against human intruders. The rebellion failed, but something changed that day. The Ministry strengthened its grip. It made new laws. It watched goblins more closely. But goblins are patient. They have time. And they have power in places wizards do not expect. How many goblins handle vault keys? How many see the darkest secrets of wizarding families? What if some of them are more than just bankers? What if they are waiting for the right moment? Wizards think they have won, but the goblins do not see this as defeat. They see it as a delay. And when the final move is made, when the ledgers are opened, when the wizards realize their wealth, their security, their entire world was always at the mercy of the goblins, then, and only then, will the war truly begin.